Well, interesting story. This is the first country going to after his inauguration. He's about entering his 100 days in office. And from his spokesman, he's going to nose around for business connections. And direct foreign investment is key in this kind of journey.
Well, I think that looking for this foreign direct investment in Nigeria has, to the best of my knowledge, or let me say, judging from the last administration into this one, looking for this foreign direct investment has not been able to give us the best or the kind of thing that we expect. The last administration went about implementing some kind of economic policies with the aim of attracting foreign direct investment. We saw something like deliberate devaluation of the naira to make sure that foreigners are attracted to come and invest in the country. But then he discovered that these investors have a number of things that they are looking at. And it's not just to devalue your naira. We saw what happened after we saw the forex policy. We saw the ease of doing business. We saw the executive orders and what have you. But you discover that if you take those government policies at the face level, they are okay. But when you now come in to put your business down, you will notice that it is a different kettle of fish altogether. So I think that it's not just to go out there and say you want to look for foreign direct investment. First and foremost, let the business environment in the country be actually investors attractive. If you make it attractive for investors, even if you don't devalue your currency, investors will come because they are sure that their investment is safe. Safety of their investment is important to them. So if you have a country where there is policy somersault, there is corruption, there is disregard for the rule of law and things like that, laws are not obeyed and what have you. If you have a country like that, there is hardly any serious investor who will want to put his or her money in that. Because if you put your money or your investment in an area that the laws are not obeyed, what they're simply saying is that even when you are cheated of your hard-earned resources, there is no judiciary anywhere who is going to save you. And even if the judiciary gives order, those in authority who are supposed to implement those orders will not simply do anything. So it's not just enough to go out there and say you're looking. It's also important that the government should begin to look at how to make the business environment actually safe for anybody to invest. Multiple taxation has been there. Every investor has been talking about it. Lack of power has been there. Every investor has been talking about it. Lack of good road network has been there. Every investor has been talking about it. In fact, 2 days ago, I traveled from Rivers State to Anambra State. And I can tell you that from here to Anambra State, that ordinarily should be like 3.5 hours. We spent almost 6 to 6.5 hours on the road. Why? Because there is this detachment of security men on the road, blocking or stopping every vehicle that is passing. That is man-hour being wasted. That is man-hour being lost for not just cause. It's not as if they are stopping these vehicles and then they are checking for security issues, but they just stop, collect money, and then the journey continues again and things like that.
In addition to bad roads.
In addition to bad roads. So I think that for us to be able to get foreign investors into our country and then to do it according to how it should be done, first and foremost, power should be fixed. There is no reason why Nigeria...
That's ease of doing business.
Yes. There is no reason why Nigeria, as a country with over 200 million people, cannot generate more than 40 to 50,000 megawatts of electricity. That is not acceptable. Any country anybody that you're asking to come into Nigeria to invest, will first and foremost find out, am I going to be providing power for myself? Am I going to be providing road for myself? Am I going to be providing security for myself? Most of these companies pay extra money in order to have their goods and services secured. But ordinarily, it shouldn't be so. So when they know that this is how these things work, it is called that it will be difficult for them to believe what you're saying. Because whether I would like it or not, after you have gone there to talk to the MDs of these foreign direct investors, they will still send their spies, maybe through Nigeria, to
come and find out.
To go and check. So when they check and see that what you have said is different from what is on ground, it becomes difficult. So, and at that time, in order for you to please them, you are going to take some economic decisions, like
and measures that
you think that it will attract them. Like
frustrate your people. That's the problem.
Like devaluation of the naira. In fact, the last administration, it is that singular act of devaluing the naira that brought us to where we are now. Exactly. Because by devaluing the naira became weaker than the dollar, and too weak to the dollar, and everything that is being imported with the dollar became very expensive.
It gave rise to inflation.
Yes, it became very, very expensive.
Inflation moved from 16 to 24%.
Yes. Yeah. So I think that what government should do first is to sit down and cut away all the bottlenecks that has to.
I think that what Buhari is like trying to impress a man to come to your house when you know the house is leaking.
Yes.
Or smelling.
Yes.
Because everything points to the fact that we don't have the ease of doing business.
Yes.
And
even if we have it, it's not functioning very well.
The ease of doing business is not what can encourage investors. Only very, very die-hard investors, those who have faith in Nigeria, that can come. I think that's why he's trying to woo some of them. Because insecurity alone can scare anybody out of this world, you know. So, but by all intents and purposes, they are trying to stem the tide of insecurity. They are trying to solve a lot of problems dealing with corruption. They are trying to manage the economy by bringing some policies. And the foreign investors are seeing this, and they may manage to come, but not in the number we think they should come.
Yes.